Morning, everyone. Coming into the second week of lockdown. So, how are you doing? How are you coping with home learning? A different way. What we've, although it's not a huge change to what some of us have been doing anyway. But put in the comments how you're doing, because it'd be really good to see what it is that you're struggling with, what you're doing well with, because some people thrive when they have this opportunity. And what I'm going to do today is talk about New Year's resolutions, because it is January. Um, People do make goals, they do make New Year's resolutions, but that whole saying a New Year's resolution sets you up to fail already, because we get told over and over again people don't keep their New Year's resolutions. So when we say, right, this is my New Year resolution, then what happens is we already telling our brain, oh, it's a New Year's resolution, so therefore I'm going to try it for a couple of weeks and then I'm going to give it up. So we need to stop using that saying, that New Year's resolution. And this came up to me because my daughter school has put in, said that last week they were giving out what their New Year's resolutions were. And I said to her, let's call them, what are going to be your intentions for 2021? What are these things that you want to do? And by changing it to your intentions, then, and just taking out the new year, you're just making a change in January, which is a perfect way. I'm going to put my hands up. This year, I am going to become fitter and healthier. It's something that I've wanted to do before. I've done it twice and let myself go. But what's different is that my mindset's changed because I've now found a good solution in order to keep me going. And when you're setting your intentions for 2021 and you set goals, you set those specific goals, you need to have a why behind that goal. Why do you want it? And I don't mean, or if, for example, you want to lose weight because you want to get into the clothes, unless you want to go out and buy yourself a wardrobe full of clothes that are a designer, then you need to actually really tap into the why. Is it you want to get fit or you want to lose weight because you want to start being more energized, you want to go out with the children, you want to go out and feel comfortable and not ache every day, you want to be there. Get down to the why, and don't start with the first why. So say, if this is how I'm feeling, so if you are feeling I'm feeling really rubbish about myself, so I just want to feel better, then why do you want to feel better? What would happen if you decided to be more healthier, or you're going to set in a goal for performance, or in your business, or in your lifestyle? It doesn't matter which one it is. Why? And then really drill in. So if you could do that, what would happen? And tap into those emotions and tap into what it is that you truly want, because it might not be just to give up chocolate. It could be that you want to give up chocolate because you feel that you've got too much sugar in your diet. And if you take out the sugar in your diet, it means you'll give you more energy. And if you have more energy, it means you can go and spend more time not sat on the sofa but out with your children, and then you could play with your children, you'll get fitter, and then that means that you'll spend that time with your children, and that is what it's really key. And you could go deeper and deeper and deeper with that. Find out what that why is and work out what you need to do, and create some really good habits. And when I say habits, is people say I can't create a habit. That's a mindset thing. You can create a habit, because you created a habit that you eat chocolate every single time that you grab a coffee. So that has become a habit, and you've got that association with the chocolate, that every time you have a coffee, your brain goes, oh, in that case, I need to have a chocolate bar. But you can change that habit. So you can change that habit step by step and say, every time I have a coffee, after I get my coffee, I am going to go and get a piece of fruit. And you do that, and you do that habit, even though it feels hard, for a number of times. And eventually you will get into the habit that every time you go and get a coffee, you'll get a chocolate bar. The same with being in a situation where you want to keep on. If you're an athlete, if you're a parent of an athlete, and you know how difficult it is at the moment when you can't get down into training, then you can say, every time I get up, I have my breakfast, I go and do my teeth, and I get dressed, and I get ready, and I get ready into my fitness stuff, and that's my gym stuff or whatever you wear, and I am going to do this. And we do it every single day at the same time, the same place, because that is the key. Because if we do it sporadically, or we don't tell our mind what we want to do and what we plan to do, then what we find, it's really difficult to motivate ourselves to get into that habit. But if our brain knows, so for me, I get up, I get dressed into my gym stuff, I brush my teeth, I get a glass of water, and I go downstairs and I do yoga, and I do my morning routine. My brain knows that when I go to bed at night, that is what's going to happen when I get up. And this is the same as if you've got children at homeschooling. We need to get them into that habit of, okay, you're still going to bed at the same time, you're getting up, and then you're going to have your breakfast, and then you're going to sit down, and we're going to start doing this particular piece of work, and then we're going to do this piece of work, and when we've done the piece, or what we've planned to do, we'll have lunch at a certain time. My daughter is very keen to have lunch at the same time as school, have her break at the same time as school. And we don't do any work after 3:30. So that's a habit that she's formed, and a habit our children have formed. And if we can keep that habit going, we'll be more successful. But what we've got to do is bring that habit across to the home place, because the habit is not thinking. What happens is that trigger is we walk into school, and as soon as we get to the school gate, our children then go into that school zone, and because their brain clicks in, says this is where we learn, so therefore they do it. And this, we've just got to change that habit so that they do it. We just need to put a trigger in there to switch from home being a place where it's fun and it's safe to we're going into learning now. And that could be anything to, after you've had breakfast, we will sit down and at the table, we'll get the books out and we'll start learning. And if we get this, do the same thing every day, our brain will start thinking about this. And when we set goals, goals are just goals. They're just dreams. They're just that we've put in something. But if we don't start taking action and doing something bit by bit every single day, then they won't be sustainable. And then bringing on to that is this, what we've come from a generation, and we come from a kind of community where we want instant gratification. We can go and get something. We want something from Argos, for example. We can go online, we can order it, we can pay for it, we can go and get it. Even in lockdown, it's instant gratification. We can go and get, pretty much, some of us can go and get things whenever we want to. And our children have got used to this instant gratification. They can get onto a tablet and they feel good because they're playing the game straight away. And because we are expecting that all the time, we struggle when we don't get that instant gratification. And we want to start building into our mind that if we're creating a habit, we may not see the habit creating results straight away, but it is. So day one you might not see something, day two you might see a little bit of the way you feel, 3, 4, 5, 6 might not see it, but then on day 21 you start noticing that you are creating results. And that is the key. You've got to continue with that faith that what you're doing is going to get you to where you want to be. And that would be your why. Everything comes back to your why, which is so important that you get that personal philosophy, that why nailed down so that you know exactly what it is that you want to achieve. And I just want to note in the fact that we talk about goals being achievable, and some people are driven towards goals, and that's great, but other people are driven against pain. And you've got to think to yourself what it is that motivates you. Is it the fact that you at the moment in a painful place and you want to go to what I call Pleasure Island and Success Island? What is it? Do you want to concentrate on that, looking at what it would look like on Success Island, or do you want to remember what it's like on Pain Island and go, I am never going back there? And look at that, how you're motivated, because so many people will think, right, okay, I've got to look at what my success will look like, but because they're the kind of people who graduate on pain, they really struggle with that, because it's not something that they want to move forward to. They do, but it's the drive is not strong enough. But it could be that this drive is strong enough to go away from Pain Island. You create the new habits on that, and then you can, once you get content, you can then start looking at how you can get to the what it would look like to look at a Success Island. And a good example of that is, again, using the weight situation. What you find is when people are overweight and they feel so unhappy about themselves, when they see what it looks like, and this is why when you see people do a before and after, there's a lot of psychological things going on there. So if you have the before, you can look at that and remember how you felt before you start anything, and you feel in that way. Just journal, just write down what it is that you feel, what your thoughts are, what you anything that you want to remember about that time, and you think about that and you go, I do not want to go into that place. We always making movements all the time, and it's those small marginal gains or those marginal losses. And if we focus on the success, sometimes we forget how painful it is to be at the pace we are now. So we struggle to maintain that because we don't have that drive inside. So think about that, and think about what you can do to get you into that place, and keep going. There will be times where it will be tough. Life is like that. You might go off the habit, but we get back on the habit the next day and we carry on. And it isn't always that easy. And that is why you have people like myself that are on these platforms to help you get through them. You're not alone. So if you're feeling like, oh, that's all very well, but I just don't know how to get out of this rut. I don't know how I can get myself in that place to actually make that change, to make that action. Then there are people out there, and I'm here. So if you're feeling that actually you want to make a change this year, 2021 is going to be very different to you, despite what is going on, then send me a message. Let's get you started. I have a Facebook group that is for athletes, sports professionals, their parents, anyone who's interested in performance psychology. So if you're not part of my groups, then come and join the group, because the group will give you some of these techniques. We're going to revitalize it this year because it's so tough. I want to help people create new habits and make that change so that you don't feel that you're not good enough anymore. So you don't feel that you're behind other people, you're not as successful as other people. So reach out if that is you, and also tell me, put hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. Tell me what it is that you want to achieve this year. What are your intentions for 2021? And let's go and make that happen. So speak to you soon, and let's start thinking about 2021 as being a very, very different year to 2020. Take care. Bye.